When you learn new grammar in a language class, written assignments are often given by your professors with the hope that you will apply the newly learned structures in your writing. Sometimes this is challenging to do, of course, especially when you may only be provided a few examples in class. In this video, I will introduce you to a tool you can use to find examples of a form or structure in use. COCA, or the Corpus of Contemporary American English. This tool will help you explore a new structure within the context you are interested in and with the vocabulary you wish to use. A corpus is a large collection of texts that can be searched and analyzed. COCA contains 560 million words and includes academic texts, fiction, news, spoken language, and popular magazines. The creator of COCA is Mark Davies, and the Brigham Young University currently hosts COCA as well as other corpora. COCA and BYU's web interface is a powerful tool to explore a range of texts with focused searches. Some of the results are similar to what you will find by using wordandphrase.info, but there are a few more options to narrow down your searches in COCA's interface. In this video, I will share some specific searches that will be useful when trying to apply new grammatical structures and vocabulary in your own writing. Okay, let's get started. Let's say that you are learning about the passive voice. According to Bieber et al., 1999, the passive voice is used around 25% of the time in academic writing. This is a common topic in both intermediate and advanced writing and grammar courses, and something you have probably seen before in class. Imagine that, for the weekend, your instructor has asked you to work on the first draft of a paper, and, among other things, has asked you to pay particular attention to your use of the passive voice. You go back home to your dorm or apartment and sit down to start writing. You already have some notes, maybe an outline, and you want to start putting some ideas down on the page. You have some ideas from your research in your outline, along with some keywords and phrases, but now in your paper, it's time to report on what you found. In order to make sure you're using the passive appropriately, COCA can be a great resource. Here's one way to use it. First, we will need to log into our account by visiting the URL corpus.byu.edu/COCA. BYU allows a limited number of searches without an account, and I promise that you will find yourself quickly exceeding that limit. See my video on creating a premium account for step-by-step instructions on how to do this. Once we log in, we can navigate to the Search tab. Here, we see a number of tabs above the search box: List, Chart, Collocates, Compare, and Quick. For exploring the passive voice, we will be using the List, Quick, and Collocate search. In order to get a list of some of the verbs that are most frequently seen in the passive voice in academic writing, we can use COCA's list search. Since we know that the passive voice is formed using a form of be and a past participle, often ending in ed or en, we can type is/are/was/were/been/being in the search box. This will give us examples in the present simple passive, such as is used, the past simple passive, such as was found, the present perfect passive, have been made, and both the present and past progressive forms, such as is being used or was being used. Next, we need to add the code that stands in the place of any verb. So we type _v**, or click on part of speech, POS, to the right and select verb.all. The last thing we need to do before clicking the Find Matching Strings button is click on Sections and then select Academic from the list. This will limit our search to academic texts. Now we are ready to click Find Matching Strings. And here are our results. There's one thing I want to note here. If we had not limited our search to academic texts, our search results would have included many examples in the present and past progressive active forms, such as are trying or are going. However, because the present and past progressive active forms occur in academic writing much less often, we can be confident that the list will include mostly passive forms. So what we see here in our results is a list along with frequency counts. The frequency count shows us the number of times the word or phrase in the list occurs in the corpus in academic texts. In other words, there are nearly 8,000 examples of was used in the corpus. To see those examples, we just need to click on the phrase. Now what we see are called concordance lines. These are lines from the academic texts that include the phrase, which is highlighted in green in each line. To the left we can see ACAD, which tells us that this line is from academic texts, and we can also see the journal or magazine it is from. If we want to see even more context, we can click on the journal name. Now we can see some of the text before and after the concordance line. One other important trick is to click on 100 next to Find Sample. This will produce a random sample of results. To go back to our concordance lines for was used, click Context in the top menu. Or click Frequency. To return to the list results. It is important to use this menu to navigate in COCA because you cannot use the back button on your browser. Now that we are back to our results, let's take a closer look. As you are getting started on your paper, you may ask yourself some questions as you go down the list of verbs. Doing this might give you some ideas about what to begin writing. For example, what are some of the tools, research methods, approaches, etc. that were used by the designers or researchers you explored? What is needed in your field or in this area of study? What has been found by previous researchers? What other concept or issue is associated with your current topic of interest? You may want to continue to do this down the list until you find something that may become a topic sentence for a new paragraph. Let's say that you want to begin discussing research studies that have been conducted about your topic. So let's click Were Conducted, which takes us to the concordance lines. Here, we can take a look at a few examples to see if this is used the way we understood it. If so, we can dig deeper with a couple of other searches by going back to the search page by clicking Search in the top menu. Now we are going to click on Quick, KWIC, which stands for Keyword in Context. Now, let's type Were Conducted into the search box. Make sure that Academic is still selected in the Sections box, and click the Keyword in Context, Quick button. What we have now are color-coded search results that allow us to notice a few things about the grammar of this phrase and what commonly occurs around it. The first thing to notice is that the words before and after the search phrase are color-coded by part of speech. Verbs are in pink, prepositions are in yellow, nouns are in blue, etc. What this allows us to do is quickly identify how we might need to structure our sentence using this phrase. As we scroll down these results, for example, we can see a number of options for prepositions. The prepositional phrases that follow can provide nice detail to our sentence, but oftentimes selecting the appropriate preposition can be difficult. These results can help us make better choices. For example, we can see the preposition by is usually used to introduce the agent, or who is conducting the study or survey. Scrolling down further, we can see that occasionally were conducted is followed by an infinitive phrase, such as analyses were conducted to examine the relationship between, or to determine. For this, let's return to the search page and use one more search tab, collocates. First, since we are interested in prepositional collocates, or the prepositions that frequently occur next to the search phrase, we can click Part of Speech, POS, next to the collocate search box and select prep.all. Next, we need to click on 0 to the left of the blue box and on 1 to the right of the blue box. This will produce the prepositions that occur one spot to the right of the search phrase. In this case, the prepositions that occur one spot to the right of were conducted. If you need to reselect academic from the sections box, do that, and then click Find Collocates. In this list, you will see the prepositions in order of frequency, or how many times they occur in the corpus in academic texts. One thing to note is that just because a preposition has a lower frequency, it does not mean that it is the wrong word choice. However, your safest choices are often the most frequently used. Here, we see a good number of examples for each of the top 10 results: in, with, by, on, for, at, during, between, over, and within. By clicking on the preposition, we can again see concordance lines and explore the meaning and context. But for even more, we can go back up to Search and the Quick Search option. Here, we can type "were conducted in" and click Keyword in Context to search. Now, again we have color-coded results that allow us to see numerous examples of what might follow the preposition. We see some years, the number of cities, and individual locations like a computer lab. As we scroll down, we can also see a couple of prepositional phrases that "in" is a part of, such as "in accordance with" or "in compliance with," as well as "in order to," which begins an adverbial clause. So, even though this seems like a lot of research for one sentence, the student who was just sitting down to write may now have a lot of ideas as to where to begin, using some of the most frequent patterns in academic writing. This student's searches moved beyond a simple look at verbs used in the passive voice to examine what is commonly written about using one of those verbs and how it is commonly written. In other videos, I will walk you through more examples of using COCA to improve your academic writing. I hope you have found this video useful, and I look forward to hearing about how you use COCA, what successes you find, and what challenges you encounter. Please let me know. Happy exploring!